Hello. Okay, it works. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever in that time zone in the world, whatever time zone in the world you all are. It's your Blue Archive Gacha Whale Beginner Artist Self-Proclaimed and your boy Tosan. You welcome to the stream. For today I will be doing art here again. And for today I will be drawing Mizumiya Su from Hololive device FLOWGLOW. And this is like, if you're not really familiar with it, this is like more or less part of our kind of challenge or like task goal I do with like drawing every single holo mem. And I draw like every week at least like once minimum, so it will be like in less than a month or so, not a month, for a few months or so, I will be like done with this. And if you're gonna tune in the future, you can like expect something like that there. So you have on the left some samples regarding that as well, so that you like know, okay, this is like how what I can expect, you know. And then yeah, and during this time we'll also be yapping, so buckle up for that and yeah, and get ready, I suppose. In any case, this will be pretty much the proof. I'm set with the I did like good shape because I wanted to edit something, but now it should be okay. And let's start. It will, if I'm like fast, I can do it in 1 hour, but at average it's like 2 hours. This will also be my first time drawing her, so gonna like see how this will go. To be honest, my knowledge of Su not the biggest, I must like say. I watched the debut, I watched some clips, I must like say, and maybe like some snippets from like 3D regarding like that they got new costumes and that all of them did like some big performance. And I think like one of the members had like something of health issues or so, and then they had like to reduce the power level of like their performance or so. Not really sure like who it was. This is a stream where I like draw her, Su, so I'm not really sure if it's really like her. Might be, I can't really remember. Like my eyes are like mostly on Vivi, sometimes on Su, but occasionally I also like check like what Riona is like doing, Isaki Riona. But yeah, in any case. Gonna like see what I can do. This is like a posture I like can easily draw when it's like normal pose, but if it's like a chibi, I'm not really sure like do this. First of all, I need to do like sample. How can this look like? No, it will not have the energy like I imagine. I suppose that's when it's like a real person, like with realistic kind of structure, body proportions. So gonna like think about something different. I mean, she has like pretty big sleeves, pretty long sleevish, like pretty long clothes, like big clothes. you know, it has like something moe when there's like small girl but oversized clothes, you know. Or like when we see like okay, maybe let's try not to be too degenerate, I must like say. But you know, like the strobe of like girl wearing her BF's shirt, you know? If you have an image in mind, it's like something that's like that you don't want to say out loud. I guess we're on the same page, you know? But if it's like, oh, like something different, let's say, yeah, this is my hand knitted sweater, cool, something along this line, then I guess, yeah, I guess it's like a little more on the pure side, but yeah. Any case, I think I will not draw full body if like this pose is not working, but gonna like see what I can like do. Maybe I like extend the sleeves. She has like oversized clothes, this character, but also you can like see her hands. If I want to, I could like do this, but let's see. I will like pull that off. Pretty oversized. He has like a really big hoodie with like rabbit ears or so. I could make something with that, but at the same time, we'll like see. Gonna be like something easy to, I would like say. I mean, like a lot of my arts draw look like easy, but then you realize it takes like 2 hours at average, and then it's like, yeah, maybe it's not that simple, but it looks simple, you know. That's like the kind of like trick there that made like people like be, you know, like in TikTok, you know, or like short form videos, be like, oh, I can do that too, and then you try like on your own, and then you notice like hard actually, you know. Like because short form video, you know, they're like, they have good pacing, good enough pacing to be like digestible, then you kind of think, you know, when what's easy to digest, then surely it's easy to like recreate, and then you try your head at it, and then you know, this is kind of the trick to like make it like look easy when it's like, you know, you don't need like someone else to do it for you, you know, you can just try your own. Pick up the pen, you know. Okay, but I think I nailed the eyes. I think with the other hand I can like make a peace sign or so, you know. That. Left hand is like this. Yeah, something like this, you know. First impression of Su. You kinda think she's Seiso, right? She probably is. We're looking like at some 3D performances. Everyone but her were like so sus. Pretty eroi with their dances and everything. And the transitions and such. But for Su, cute, kawaii, you know, but I'm like, yabe, mecha eroi, something like that, you know, I suppose. But then I saw also this clip where they played like this KSB RPG, you know, like RPG that skipped playtesting, and then there was like clips so where you know, when playtesting has been skipped, you know, like beta testers or like game testers, you know, they're gonna like point out here some bugs, you know, some NPCs or like some characters like walk through the wall or so. They shouldn't be able to do that actually, or like some typos, or maybe like something really sus, you know, and yeah, and it's like kind of like aimed at that streamers like play that game, you know, so that there are like some funny moments. And there was like one of these parts, you know, where they read like a certain line that is dirty, you know, because of like some typo there. I remember like this time, you know, where like there was a clip compilation of like the convenience store horror game, you know, like by Sheila's Art or so. And there were like a lot of like reactions to like this one scene, you know, where you're like at the cashier area, when you like go there to the door, like the manager room, and then you get that jump scared or something like that, right? And there are like a lot of like clips of like VTuber playing that game to like get spooked by this one kind of moment. Like those kind of clips are pretty nice. And it shows like not only like the reaction from the Oshi, you know, but just like from a lot of like ones in general, so that you can kind of like pick yourself, hey, I like that one, wow, this one is cute, you know, instead of like trying to sell you only one. Why not like multiple, you know? 10 for the price of one, you know? What a deal! And then, yeah, it's like worth to like check out the clip in this kind of case. Yeah, I must have to make the hand bigger. Make this with a piece. Piece of B. But it can work. Can work. Cat sitting made me like for sure a little bit more patient, I must like say. There are like often moments where I get challenged, and I think like challenge is like always like something good in order to like process. I always like know it's good to be patient, actually, to like show matureness. It's like really easier said than done, but the challenge is like really like kind of needed, you know. You could like go for a short-term solution, you know, but you also have to think like what like it does for a long term, you know, like your actions. Like, if you get like annoyed, is it worth to like show a moment of anger? And what does like do for long term? If you like erupt for a moment, it might be like temporarily working, you know, but in long term, you know, you have to like also like consider that people or that you like in general will be remembered like to be an angry guy. You might be able to like shut up the annoyance, but you know, think about like how you will appear, you know, in the eyes of like others, or like the cat, for example, as well. If you stay chill, however, it has like more benefit long term as well. And maybe you can like think about your moves. Like what else could you do when getting angry, you know? Anger's like not always the most helpful move. I mean, I learned that from video gaming, but in real life, of course, you know, like with humans are chill, you know, they're not getting that annoyed, but cats, they do need a lot of love, you know, a lot of like, love, but some attention to food, you know, but also like they need some love. A lot, they're like starving for that, especially if you like leave for a long time, you know. With like work, for example, when there's no one else but you, usually at home, and it's kind of like, yeah, you're like the only one they can rely on, and sometimes they get too clingy, you know, and then it's like sometimes me kind of gets annoying now. I could like erupt, but at the same time I see like it's better to like stay patient, you know. Maybe I will get used to it, you know. Well, it did work out. It's kind of like fun to like actually getting loved in return as well, you know. Well, what's is fun? It feels rewarding, you know. You do a lot of shit and actually you get something in return. I'd say. But it's like the good kind of shit, you know. Usually shit is a bad word, but some people will be like, what, this is this shit, you know, when this means like something good. But sometimes people will be like, wow, that's shit, what a shitty opinion or so, you know, when it's like, okay, that's bad, of course, right? It's like similar to the F word, you know, the F-bomb. Maybe not similar, but F-bomb is like a lot more versatile, I must like say. In German we have only like one word that's like sounds like damn, you know, damn, that's damn good, damn it, you know, something like that. There's like something like that in German, but it's like not nearly as versatile as like the F word, you know. We have like a similar word, but it's not as good as like the English F word, you know. So yeah. Okay, about the head shape. It has like this shape and like some boldish stuff, boldish things around. It's like a little bit like Kotone from Gakumas, but like with a lot of like bolts and like extra onto it. I say like Kotone, but I never drew Kotone from Gakumas. I can't like really say too much. But I guess like it's kind of like Mizumiya now, like with pigtails and such. Things like coming down. I saw like Su's design. I was like thinking, man, she cute, you know, and that's about it. There was like nothing else really. I know I never like really drew her, so I can't really tell if like, you know, if people draw her because they like her or just like maybe it's like fun to draw. But could be a mix of both, you know. But there's also a language barrier, I must like say, so I can't like do much there. But she seemed cute. She is like has like a certain charm, I think. I watched the debut. He was cute. But actually she can be like kind of I don't really know. I need to watch more clips, I suppose. I saw like only the idol side, I must like say. I never like witnessed much of the streamer side, you know. So I really can't say much. idle side in the sense of like, you know, singing, dancing, you know. They have like something, sometimes like those 3D performances, you know, like on YouTube you can like watch for free. But sometimes they have like their own events, you know, where you have like to get a ticket, you know, there's like streaming ticket as well, and then yeah. I watch like some, you know, like with Holofest for example, or like English, Hololive English concerts, you know, but so far I didn't really came with like outside of that, you know. So how do I do the rest? How do I do the rest? It's getting kind of weird with the hair. I'm gonna get a normal base form first, and then I do like all the extra. Let's make hair look more like unique, I suppose. It's kind of detailed, right? With the line, the lines. But I do think, man, there's a lot of extra stuff that I do like there for nothing. Sometimes. Sometimes I have to like erase them because the advantage is like not like how I feel it should be like. Then yeah, a lot of work is gone. Yeah, but you know, like putting hard work in is rewarding. The cat? I was like kind of caring about like what she's like eating, you know? More. There's like the kind of thing like that wet food is better than dry food, but then also there's also like the custom kind of thing, you know, homemade, that are like a lot better. And there are like some food items that are safe to eat for the cat, like cooked eggs, for example, right? Or like things like steamed zucchini or so. Or you can like do something like chicken breast, salmon, you know, cooked salmon. Cause they can eat it raw, like how they eat mice raw, you know, for example, like birds, but just for safety, you know, cook it for them, and yeah. And at first, you know, she didn't really like the idea of like eating what I cooked. But I kind of had like to play around, you know, like, okay, cracking the egg on the frying pan and then like whisking it there doesn't work, so whisking it before like cooking then actually like worked out. But I kind of like microwaved the egg because there'll always be like some, you know, I don't think like there like will be some stains also of like spices or like the oil, you know, like if there, I like the smell at the very least, and then she doesn't like that smell, and then it kind of like worked out there. I even like separated like at like one time like the cat food and then like the scrambled egg there, and she ate it like still up, you know, like even the egg itself, not like only the cat food part alone. like mixing the wet food into like the scrambled egg, you know, like not the other way around. And it's kind of like cool. Like cats can eat egg. And She always seemed interested when I like was cooking. But because I add spices to it, then she can't eat it, you know. It was like kind of interesting to like approach like differently. Like, we're not cooking for yourself. Well, she enjoyed it. Of course, she can't like eat everything up, you know. They're like kind of like nature. They, you know, they get like to eat like small mice, small birds, you know. They don't get like a full meal, you know. So I kind of like had to like hold back, maybe like 1 or 2 tablespoons instead of like a full 5-star menu, you know. I didn't even like use the full egg, and actually it was like still a lot in my eyes. It's kind of interesting, like how much cats can eat and how much not. They will take their time because they're like also small. But for me as a human, you know, sometimes I look at the amount like I'm eating, kind of like, yeah, I guess I eat a lot. But then I should eat more because I do need more. I need to fatten up actually. I'm like pretty thin. But there are also like some, you know, there are like some disadvantages where you're getting too skinny, but also like when you get too fat, you know. But funnily enough, you know, Project Zomboid for example, they're not really life consequences if you like play as an overweight like guy. But when you get like, when you starve, you know, get really skinny, you can like die from malnutrition there in the Project Zomboid. Like the only like debuffs when you're like overweight and such, you know, is like that you're slow, you can't climb over fences easily, you most probably fail. Tripping is like more likely to happen. Yeah, that's about it maybe. You start like with a lot of weight, you know. So yeah, there's like a lot more room of error if you like aren't able to like eat a weight balanced meal, you know, like with the protein, with the fat, you know, with the vitamins, you know. You can just get away like for a long time for just eating like some bugs, some mushrooms, you know, in there like separated, you know, just to not get hungry, just to like fill up the stomach, you know, to still have energy for the next day, something like that, right? Rather than like trying to get something balanced. Like in Project Zomboid, you know, it's a zombie survival game, but what's really detailed about this game is like the nutrition system, you know, like the food system in general. You have like to pay attention to your diet and everything about gaining weight or like losing weight. You can also get a temporary buff if you like eat something good, you know. Like when you get like well fed or something like that, you know, like when you're already at like 100, you know, when you're already full, and then you can like eat more, like break the limit, you know, to like get stuffed or something like that. It's similar to like Minecraft or so, like when you overeat, you know, like when you have like a little bit more hunger bar than like the actual hunger bar that's like showing, you know, something like that. Is she recognizable? Somewhat, right? Okay, it's gonna be difficult, I think. I'm not really sure like about that hair. It is complicated, man. But okay. Maybe I'm gonna do the hands like this, that they're like... I'm gonna draw fingers, so... Alright then. Okay, it's gonna be small fingers, small hands. That's chibi. Does this make sense? Not really sure. Pigtails. I have to adjust the volume here. Gosh. There's a lot of extra volume. Maybe I have to to check the artwork of like her art mama. If it's like usually how they draw characters. Like with Raora, you know, Nikojira sensei, like the way Raora's drawn, and then like the other artworks of Nikojira sensei, there's like a difference. Like it's mostly like white-haired beauty, you know, and then there's like this kind of painting feeling, like beauty, you know, when you look at it. But Raora, solid, clean character art, you know. But it's like not having like the same vibe. And when like Raden, you know, looking at her model and then like at the artwork that Raden sensei usually draws, you know, there's also like a difference as well. Some of those artists did like have like a background where they like draw lewd stuff, you know, as well, and then it's also like, okay, you know, they got like a cultured artist there, like Kanzarin sensei for Louis Saucier from Nijisanji, for example, or like Yano Kurome from Vispo, you know. It's also like interesting. What I like, for example, is like Shigeru also, like on like artists and like VTubers at the same time, or like Rurudo sensei, you know. Rurudo sensei is actually pretty cute, and not only there's a connection like with Toa-sama, but also like with Mari and Sencho, you know, kind of like had like some collabs with her before she even became a VTuber, you know, kind of like, man, you got a cute voice, you know, and then, hey, you really think so, you know, then yeah. And when Rurudo sensei got a new form, my tears were like flowing, oh, you know, and then yeah, it was like really good design, and it's like pretty much what like she would have drawn. Like in the culture, you know, when like people like use the sobbing emoji, you know, like the crying emoji. In the ego kind of like thing, you know, it's kind of like, I can't believe you said that, or something like in this kind of sense, but in a kind of niche, I'm not really sure if it's niche, but you know, the sobbing emoji is statistically the most used emoji of course, can be like used in the sense of like sorrow or like, oh, I can't believe you said that. Oh no, I can't believe that happened, you know. But in some senses, you know, when you see a character or so, when you use like the sobbing emoji, it's like kind of, ooh, Kane, something like that, you know. Probably it's not the pronunciation. Like when I always like see the sobbing emoji in context to like, you know, seeing cute girls, kind of like, you know, like similar to like Takeshi, you know, like this kind of like energy vibe. When he's like in the tunnel, you know, when he shouts like, ooh, sack, you know, something like that. It's like the kind of energy like I like think about every single time I like see it in the context, you know. I can't like unhear it anymore, you know, every single time it like went to that. That's pretty ageless, I would like say. It will not get old. Might be like one of the best like kind of things to age like regarding meme culture, you know, that I like to process and eat up more willingly when like Skibidi Toilet or like 6-7, you know. But I don't think like 6-7 will like age up well. But people will get angry or like confuse people who like not familiar with that, you know. It's like this kind of purpose. I see it like every now and then too, but it's kind of like, you know, it's not really special. They did a surgery on a grape. There was also like this kind of meme too. A surgery on a grape out of 10, you know. It's like kind of, maybe it's like because it's so random, you know, to do a surgery on a grape. Maybe it's like because, and yeah, it's because of science, you know, it's because of like, for the future of humanity, you know, I guess. Like, yeah, I could like explain the things, but you know, just think for yourself, I suppose. That this kind of ridiculous thing like actually did exist. Ridiculous practices. Sometimes I hear like here and there some things that like sound like trivia, but actually, well, it's pretty much trivia, but like things that have actually happened like around the world. I heard like something, you know, from a coworker or so that there were like things on like the science or so, or like research on like a fart frequency scanner or something like that. And then it's like, you know, okay, but for what, you know? Or what is this useful? Spending all our tax money just like on... I think we can like give a fart about, you know? But at the same time, I'm not sure if it's true. Really. If it's like just some, like, if it's like has been fact checked, that people actually like do that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, sounds good, sounds about right, you know, man, yeah. So people like sometimes do stupid stuff. For no good reason. And yeah. How do I do this? It's somewhere here. It's like kind of big around here. Fair braids. Big like around here. Nice details actually, not feel like it's like coming on, it's like taking form. I'm not really sure like how good I do this. It reminds me when I like drew Towards Summer, like with those big sleeves back in the days. I did it on stream too, yeah, actually. And I kind of was like saying, oh, I'm beginner artist, self-proclaimed, when actually you do like stuff that is like not what a beginner artist would do, when it's kind of like, you know. But it's kind of the background of like trying like analog style for a long while. Some kind of skills take like do transfer like well, but some others like not so much, you know. And yeah. It's like always like me being like, yeah, I'm being humble, like I'm not, it's not all that special, like, but I like in the end like do. But even like not something special can like still be like something that some people appreciate, you know, in the end. Like when family, you know, like when your parents like take care of you, you know, they pay the rent. At first it's not really apparent that like something has been done from their side, but it's like one of the best things, like, you know, that when the things are like not really that noticeable, it's actually like kind of good, you know. But once it's gone, then you actually like notice like how much it was like missed, you know. And then it's kind of like, yeah, I do have to appreciate like more, be more mindful of like about my surroundings, you know. Like it's like about actions that speak louder than words, you know. Like you don't have to always announce that that you have done something to be like someone who's like be called good, you know. It's like always better to like do that but don't be like you know, too attention seeking about that, like a content creator, you know. Of course you can save a lot of people, you know, or like give money to a good cause, but you don't have to like share everything about it, you know. Kind of like makes one think, do they actually want to help someone, or is this like for clout, for attention, you know? Like, hey, I'm good for humor, you know? And then the next moment, like, you know, whenever one turns around and, hey, give me back my money, you poor guy, you filth, peasant, you know, back, you know. But yeah, they're like those kind of things. One has like to think about every now and then. Yeah, my lab is really warm. It's not so bad having a cat around for that. Actually, the heater's like also pretty warm. Maybe it's a comfort thing, maybe because I'm talking. When I try not talk, I feel like vibrations like in my throat, you know, of this kind of voice. But also, there were like enough times where I kind of like effed around with my voice. I think most of the parts when I get like boring or like doing work, you know. Like if some of you guys are familiar with karaoke streams like I do on a monthly basis, I I do fool around like a lot with my voice, that I can like do different voices, you know, for performances. Like Kenji Shionese's Chains, like in Chainsaw Man in the movie, you know, Razor Arc, you know, there's like this one song from Kenji Shionese that's like popped off, you know, that he would like, you know, like every single song from Kenji Shionese is like so different. Like in Medalisto, in with like Lemon, you know, it's like sounds different. I think like in Gundam as well, GQX, I think. Not really sure if it was like this one, but they all have like something, right? Remember like still like this one thing where like there was like this kind of performance with Kenji Yonezu, you know, where he went like on a shark car, you know, and then he went like darling, 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 you know, and a lot of people like kind of like were really, you know, hooked about it, that you know, he would like do his performance while like being on this kind of thing, you know, the shark with the shark stuff. It's kind of like pretty charming, man, good looking man, and then he's like on this thing. Shows like a lot of confidence. Okay, doesn't look so bad, right? Line art wise and everything, like sketchy, but I did like with sketches so far. Man, it gets fun. Drawing details, drawing more lines. Actually, I could like pose it like that and then get a lot. Yeah, maybe not actually. Like with the way like algorithm like works nowadays, right? I kind of like feel like that's like not bad actually. If I like color it now, then it loses its magic as a sketch, you know. But yeah, I suppose. Gonna ruin the vibe. Oh, ho 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 ho. どうしたの? どうしてここに? No, things are forever. But okay, 50 minutes in already, you know. I think I will not be able to draw like the logos on her shirt or so. But I think that's fine. Not about the phone. This is a bolt thingy. There's also like something of a pattern. I think I will cut it off around here. I'm not drawing her full body really. I gotta limit myself regarding the time. And there's a bolt. Kinda goes like this. Oh yeah, I forgot something, the antenna, the big antenna. But so far it looked like pretty nice. It did look pretty nice when I was like working on it. antenna. It's like a bolt thingy. Blue girl. When Gorger was so good, they needed like more clones. But actually, it's always the sword that's like a little bit different, you know. Some are like witty, some are pretty like on the shy side, you know. Some did try, but they're like not. But you know, regarding like successful VTubers, Bobo's like kind of like big too, and she's like her own like self rather than like a clone. Pretty successful. I saw like that she did like a lot, like she did like to sing like Natori songs, for example, right? She did like music stuff. She seemed to enjoy that. And with her music video called Help, you know, like original song, she was like able to collab with like Natori sensei and did like a song together. This is like kind of cool. This is kind of like Hololive as well, you know, the help of Hololive. Like some of the things you could like really not do as an indie, you know. And I heard, you know, like I watched like the anime Gnosia, you know, which is like pretty much Among Us, but anime. It's like pretty enjoyable. And I never like noticed that in the opening songs, you know, Kobo actually sang there. In a collab with like Kasane Teto, you know, which is a Vocaloid. It's kind of like, yo, it's pretty cool, you know. And yeah, actually she has like this the voice range to like sing like that, like in a cool, badass manner. In this kind of sense, voice range, you know, like playing around with your voice, it's pretty fun actually. Maybe, you know. It did move too much. He did like shook and maybe like meow, you know. Really sure if the camera, not camera, the mic did like catch that. Like usually it's like the settings, you know, with the mic were like usually around the part of my normal speaking voice, you know, and then it does not really pick up like background noises. But if I'm speaking at the same time, then like there's like some noise going around, then maybe it's able to pick it up, you know. Not really sure. Like when I do mouse clicks, for example, while I'm talking, I guess you can hear that, or like keyboard typing. But usually it's not. Okay, guess like I lost some weight from my labs now. I can like move a lot more freely. Like trying to sit in the same position the whole time is pretty difficult. The stream was like about more than 50 minutes, not bad actually. I was able to rest that long. Usually I do like want to sleep, really restfully, deep sleep, you know, but it's impossible for a human to like sit in the same position the whole time. Like, you know, like dogs as well, you know, and then, hey, don't move! And then shock collar, you know. It's really not that easy. Because in anime, like the animals, you know, we're not machines. Even the human is like some kind of animal with like some desires, instincts, you know. Of course we're intelligent, but we still have our desires, you know. That's why we watch porn. That's why we eat and drink, you know. You know, regarding like some studies, is kind of interesting, you know? Oh, don't you know it's heavy for like men to like look at boobs, you know? If you're a woman, please let men look at the boobs, you know? Something like that. And I'm not really sure, you know, if those things are true or not. But, you know, gonna have to fact check it instead of like taking it like, you know, taking it like at face value. Like biting your fingernails off, you know, like chewing on them is supposedly healthy. So sleeping with like wet socks, you know, because when you sleep, most of your body temperature goes to your feet or something like that. So sometimes, you know, like when before you go to bed, then washing your feet or something like that should be like pretty good. Like I heard like some practices of like, okay, you go to sleep, but take off your socks or so, but then it's also like, oh, wet socks, you know, it's kind of like, you know, at the same time, if you're like really cold, it's like winter, you really want to be warm, but then there are also people like who like sleep naked, you know. And I guess it's just like good for the skin or so, something like that. But at the same time, when you're gonna wake up and then there's like a lot of like wrinkles on your skin imprinted, you know, it's kind of like, you know, is it really that healthy? But I can like tell. I did like try like a few times when I was like a lot younger, you know. Not like, at least I wear like some pants, you know, but yeah, it's kind of like, I know like, Ototo does sleep with only his underpants on, so. And then supposedly it's like some studies be like, yeah, it's pretty good to like sleep naked, you know. Oh, by the way, also men like it to look at boobs, you know, and it's like pretty good for the health, you know. It can like reduce the chance of like heart attacks, you know. By the way, you know, also, yeah, sleeping naked is good, you know, good for your health. Yeah, kind of like, I'm not really sure. It's kind of like speech for 100, you know, like, if it's like actually able to like, you know, convince someone, but I kind of like wonder, you know, this could also be kind of like fitting for like love comedy genre, you know, like for like those ecchi harem, you know, like trying to convince them, hey, you know, sell them that they're gonna dress up really alluringly, you know, as if they're trying to risk like the main character, you know, then, you know, maybe there's potential, but at the same time it could like degenerate, but it could be like kind of interesting, you know, like you watch like something to turn your brain off, have like some fan service, but at the same time, holy crap, education, you know. Could be interesting, you know, actually. I mean, they're like the ingredients, you know, like real life has given us. It's all about how you cook it, you know. But a lot of people are bad chefs. They have like the best ingredients ever, but then they do produce like whatever fast food, you know. They produce fast food with it. Like something that can be mass produced, like the isekai, or the power fantasies, you know. And then you throw like some cute girls in there, and then voila, you know. Target audience, young men, or like lonely men in general, you know. Man, I wanna be powerful like that to get out of girls. And then they keep like hoping and you know. But to be honest, I did like also like watch a lot of that. But there actually is something around there, you know. Like they actually have a message, you know, kind of like self-reflecting in us, and then you can change too, you know, a little bit of messages here and there. showing that family is like really important, you know. Like with Mushoku Tensei, there was also a part in ReZero somewhere, you know, like about family. Like, yeah, maybe like try to run away, become more powerful on your own, you know. Maybe like get it like gifted because like someone felt sorry, or like, oh, it's Pokemon might be entertaining if I give the weak one like some power, you know. But but power can also corrupt people. It's also like the thing. And when they just end up bullying the people like who had bullied them, you know, the main protagonist. Like when the bullied the main protagonist back in the days, and then okay, I'm gonna be stronger when I come back at you, you know. Then it's kind of like that, you know. It's a little bit kind of like, I don't know. When I was a kid, you know, I always didn't really like when people like said no to me and didn't allow me many things. Kind of like, I want more candies, give me more food, you know. When there was like those, you know, carnivals, you know, New Year festivals. They're like those scooters, those merry-go-rounds, or like those carousels, you know. I always wanted to ride them multiple times, but then only one time, you know, we don't have enough money. And it's kind of like, okay, when I get big, we're gonna come back at you, you know, something like that. And in a sense, when I look at those kind of power fantasies, you know, I kind of feel like maybe those writers, when they like have written the story, maybe they were like still very young, you know. And this is the kind of mentality. This is like kind of a thing that can happen at work as well, you know, like when you get yelled at your boss, you know, for example, or like by your senpais, and then it's kind of like in Japanese society, it's like, ah, hi, yeah, sumimasen, you know, kind of like, but then deep in their mind, they're like kind of like boiling, you know. And then maybe this is like the kind of like, you know, thing they do on getting back at their bullies. Getting back at those who like abuse them. But then they end up abusing their power as well to like abuse those abuse them, you know, and then yeah. Were you able to follow? I don't know, but this is like kind of like what it feels like when like going through like isekai, or like some isekais, or like power fantasies, you know. You get confused, and sometimes you like lose focus on like what was the reason to actually start the story, and how much of that is like left still in the later parts of the series. Like what was it what started it off, and was he able to reach his goal? What did he gain? What did he lost? Is he happy? Are they happy? You know, something like that. For humans, like getting stronger is like not really something we can resonate. I cannot resonate at the very least. Sometimes enough is more than more, you know. This is some point satisfied, and then like focus on like more important things in your life. but still like important to like keep yourself fit, to train, because like muscles actually are like an organ that actually like OP and can make sure that you stay alive longer at old age. Like if you of course like keep them fit and so. I'm reaching an age like slowly where I'm like, okay, I have to like train now regularly. And I was like carried by youth, you know, by youthful energy, but still, even like during the youth time you can still like train, you know, of course, to like have it easier in the future, but still, you know, sometimes your priorities, oh, I want to gain more, man. You're gonna like do that, and yeah, gonna spend the night with that, maybe League of Legends, and then it's kind of like, no, what did I waste the time on League of Legends, you know? It's just a stupid game, you know, where you don't make like build up really meaningful skills, you know, you just get angry, it's just suffering, you know, but that's also like kind of like what can bond people, and it's like, yeah, you know, this kind of like cursed circle. And a lot of people like ask, you know, don't play it, it's not worth, you know. But when there are also people, hey, wanna play League, you know, you know, like keep training the other like downs, like kind of the crab bucket, you know, mentality, you know. Like crab bucket, you know, is kind of like you know, they don't let anyone escape out of the hellhole with them, you know. Like if we suffer, you're gonna suffer with us, you know. We're not gonna let you like live a happy life. You're gonna suffer here with us too, then. It's kind of this mentality crab bucket, you know. Like when one crab tries to escape, the other crabs like try to like drag them back down, you know. If like the combined strength of like multiple crabs against like one who like tries to like escape, it's fate. It's kind of interesting, like phenomenon, just like seeing in like animals, you know. Like some of the things are true of like humans as well, you know. But it's really interesting, like when you like watch animals, you know, and they do something that's like really human. I guess like when you have a cat, it's also like kind of interesting, like how human, like what kind of actions, you know, they do are like pretty human, you know, or like very social level. Like, I kind of like think at the beginning, it's somewhat to some extent like today too, they are not creatures, but also they're socially very aware, socially intelligent, you know. They need a lot of love, but at least like attention, but they also can give you a lot of love and attention as well, you know. And when you sleep, they keep guard, actually. And yeah, I was like yesterday I had the best sleep in a while. I only slept about 7 hours, but I had like one of the best sleeps ever. Not ever, but like in a while. This was my best sleep this year, I can like say hands down. I was like in the REM phase. I dreamt. I remember like about 5 to 6 different scenarios or so there that were like in my minds. And in order to remember them, I actually talked to the cat. I'm cat sitting, you know, like what I dreamt about, like while I was like petting her and everything. You know, after you wake up, you know, after a long sleep, they're gonna be like, pay attention to me, I did a good job, please praise me, you know. But first of all, I was like, okay, drink some water, now go to the bathroom, put some splashes of cold water on your face to wake yourself up, you know. Then you're gonna groom yourself, like with your, you know, for your hair, you know, and then after you feel a little bit ready, you know, you pay attention to the cats. Like about 1 minute you can ignore her, you know, minimum or so, and then afterwards they're gonna be super clingy on you, and then they allow you to head pet them more or something like that, you know. They show you a lot more love if you like stall a little bit out, you know, kind of like that. And usually I don't really want to be annoyed, but at the same time, you know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it happen. I think I have really like, I don't know, I think I have low blood pressure or so in the morning or so. I don't know. I felt like a bit annoyed, but maybe it has also with my sleep quality to do. Maybe it depends on that as well. Like one of the things I was like dreaming about is like I was like in a car or so, or like a bus, like some kind of vehicle, and I drove. And then when I like drove, I kind of was like wondering what is my goal, you know, where I'm going, you know, what's my location. And I went like through multiple like kind of like areas, cities, towns, when I was like on a highway. And when I look back at it, it kind of had like a little bit of a vibe of like truck simulator or so, you know, where you like are in the situation of like, okay, you're a truck driver, you like go from point A to B to like transport like stuff or so. But I actually had a mission or so. At some point I was like not on the car anymore, but on a motorcycle or like a bike. And I was like asking for directions, you know. And at some point it led me like to a animal shelter or so, where there were like a lot of cats, like on beds and everything. And for some reason I was able to approach them. They didn't run away, they were like really shy, they let me like head pet them and everything, you know. And we're like opening the door so that they can run away or so. And then the next moment the tree me put up like a paper roll, set on fire, you know, and then threw it like outside the house. And then from there on, outside the house, it would like get inside the animal shelter or so. And then there would be like next scene, something like on the news or something like that. That some corrupt animal shelter, you know, who abuses cats or whatever, something like that, has been burned down. And it's kind of like US versus like IS or whatever. And kind of like, what? You know? When one state like fights back, and they're kind of like, what the hell? What did that? Why? I don't know. But it's kind of like this kind of thing, you know. This was like one of the scenarios, you know. I tried like multiple like things in my dream actually, and I really felt it was like, I don't know. Maybe it's like the future, you know. I don't know, but it's like one state that like well, let's say like one country bullies the other country, and then of course one of the other countries will like fight back. But maybe I felt like really so disconnect because I don't live like in those countries at all. But yeah. But this could be a sign, you know. Could have been like kind of connection, because I was like, you know, because I'm like cat sitting. I do like be interested in like watching some cat videos, you know, where they like pick up like stray cats or like lab cats, you know, cats with like really bad background, and then like people like pick them up, adopt them, you know, and then like lead them to a more happier life, you know. It kind of sounds like power fantasy, you know, like cats when they they start off like pretty bad, and then they get like all the bitches, you know, like afterwards, become strong, can do everything effortlessly, you know. In a sense, like cats are always like chosen ones, you know. Okay, you gonna be the one, and then I'm gonna grant you power, or actually I grant you a new home, I'm gonna give you love and everything, you know. And then yeah, at some point they get everything, you know, and then they get somehow they're comfortable, they're cocky, and then there's like where they start aura farming also, start to apply dominance, and then I'm the boss in the house, you know, and then yeah, when they take over. But other than like those power fantasies, it's like they don't use their power to like bully the weak, you know, weaker than them. In this case, just like I protect what's like important to me, you know. And I gonna love people who like surround me, you know, around me, something like that. When I think about soul leveling, there was like not much more going on like with the healer girl, the A rank healer, or like the B rank mage, like who has like only one arm left. Not much has been done with them anymore. It's only like the focus on the main character, which is kind of sad. The mic really doesn't pick it up, but she was meowing at me. Did like a lot of cute sounds. I wish you could hear that. And the mic really doesn't pick it up. Let me talk to her. Jo, ich streame gerade. Du siehst vielleicht nicht, aber vielleicht siehst du hier das OBS. Siehst du mein Avatar, du siehst da, was ich da zeichne, wird auf da übertragen, ne? Okay, I was like talking German to her, kind of explaining, hey, I'm streaming, you know. See like some kind of hints that, like, you know, that kind of indicate that. But yeah. Any case, I'm gonna like see that I can finish that one. I'm like about 1 hour and 20 minutes in, so like about 80 minutes. I could like try to like color, but first of all I have to be happy with the line weight before I like can do anything. Oh, for me it's like always important. Line weight has to be alright before I can feel comfortable like applying color. Color is like not something I'm confident with actually. It's like pretty like basic what I will do. And let's say this is like the first time this week where I've been drawing. So there's like not much practice. So I feel like kind of like not really like confident. Last week I did draw like here and there a little bit until I pick up a game, you know, and I was like, okay, yep, I don't have time to like draw like pro or like work on a project at all, you know. There's not enough Tosans, there's not enough me out there. It's kind of like, you know, I can only trust myself, and then I wish I could clone myself, you know. Like, of course, in the real world, you can like have like friends, you know, you have like, can pay people to do like tasks for you, some specialists, you know, they're like things like commissions you can do, but they don't share your mind, you know. they don't share your brain. They can't like see what you're like imagining. They can't look into your head, they can't mind read, you know. It's kind of like, it's like where interests like chemists align. At least first try, you know. But if you take the time and effort, then it might be as effective as that, maybe even better, you know. Like sometimes some inspiration from other people can help to improve your existing work, you know. Like Breaking Bad, of course, like Vince Gilligan planned like out, or like had like kind of ending in mind, like with what certain characters, what happens with certain characters, but then he got convinced by the crew, like not directly, but like, man, they're so good, it's such a waste to waste them now, you know. How about I gonna let him alive and then like rewrite the story, like rewrite this kind of fate of this character, and then it's kind of like, man, this is one of the best things that ever happened, you know, like because the character like Aaron Paul like played, like Jesse, is like wow, so good, you know. Like he was able to develop even further, and like during the ending and everything, like everything played out. And nothing has been planned ahead, like from there on, you know. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I'm used to that. But okay, let's see. Yeah, I guess she really misses me. The cat. She started scratching on my bed. Usually I start scratching when they miss like a lot of attention or so, or like love. Can't really share that now. They do a lot of scratching, you know, when they feel like stressed. It was like not a multiple scratch, but kind of like when you jump off this bed, I heard like kind of a scratching sound or so. Maybe like that. It's mostly a scratch on parts where you have been like a lot, you know, because your scent is like lingering on all those places like a lot. They do like the scratching so that their scent and like your scent like do intertwine or something like that, and that's like how they calm down, because your smell, your presence, mostly your smell is like what calms them down or so. At the same time, hey, I'm the room, you know. And just go to me. It can't attack me, you know. Don't attack them, attack me. But yeah, I'm still like kind of new to all of that, but I do like pick up knowledge, trivia and everything from watching cat videos. It like lands on my timeline more. So yeah, why not? If I flip it around, I don't know. What can I do? Not really sure. It can look from one side, but from the other side, I don't know. どうしようかな? I think I'm gonna stretch out my hand to her. At the same time, just when she gets like close to me. But you know, I think like it feels rewarding. Like if you like put like work into something, that you get like rewarded, you know. Maybe you can be the one who can like save someone's life, you know. Maybe you can like change to them for them. Guess like that's like quite a lot of like, you know, like in some kind of those power fantasies, or like at least not in Korean ones, but like, you know, like with the kyatto clones, you know, girls in danger, then you go, I come to help, you know, then and now I'm gonna turn, you know, I'm gonna turn this genre into like harem, you're gonna be my first bitch or something like that, you know, something like that. They're like all of that. Like kick out of the hero's party, you know, there is like this anime, Yusha Party or Oida Sareta Kyobinbo. Like English localizations like Jack of all trades, party of none. I like picked up that one because Tuasama sang the opening, you know. And this is enough reason for me on like, okay, I'm gonna listen to her voice like every week because, you know, she's like this, she's making this opening. But yeah, and then I might watch like this anime like alongside that. And I remember like I watched like a manga review like from Mada, like when his YouTube channel didn't got nuked like at that time. And there was like this kind of thing where I was like thinking, you know, like helping a girl, you know, this is Japanese sign language for I'm gonna turn the genre of this manga into like harem. You're gonna be my first bitch. Like all those comments. It was like done via the AI, but it's like based on his own voice, you know. But still like, you know, his humor in there, it's kind of like, you know. Yeah. Of course, there's kind of like the thing with when I like watch like some more manga reviews, it's kind of like that there are like some, I think like for Mava's Basement, you know, that there are like some channels that do it like on the lazy way, that they pick up like from Wikipedia or so, like some summaries, put it into like an AI voice thingy, and then they produce videos like that, you know. They have already a script, they already have like AI voice or so, and then they can like upload it quickly, you know. While like actual videos, you know, they do need like time and like cooking to be like done, to be like fine-tuned, you know. And sometimes there are like enough people who like eat up all that AI made video content, you know. And yeah, it doesn't really have to be AI art, you know. They show like the panels, let it read out loud or so, some things off the Wikipedia or like some from the script, you know. And then yeah, it's kind of like make a summary out of like the subtitles from this anime, you know, like to ChatGPT, something like that, you know. And you can only like notice that something is wrong when you like fact check that, you know. But with most people like who go into manga review or so are like those people who like doesn't know like the source material, like who doesn't really know about like, you know, what is that, I need an idea, you know. And then they turn to a video that is like made by, you know, made with AI, and it's kind of like I was like watching some cat videos, I also noticed that like some of those that are made with AI, and it's kind of like you really see it like everywhere, you can't really avoid it, kind of like kind of like sad. Like the voice or like the art that you like use, you know, or the images, and then it's kind of like, you know, the colors are like really off, the first looks like really off. It really feels uncanny, you know, when there's like something really unnatural, like something really cursed. You know, like, yeah, maybe you don't really know that, really need to like show you like something from our context. But there was like a few years ago like an image generator. It was like powered AI, you know, which was like called DALI or so. Like it's like the artist Dali, D-A-L-I, but like written like Wally, you know, something like that. And then you could like enter any things like Will Smith eating spaghetti, and then there would be like, you know, something really cursed, you know, where you can like tell, yeah, this somewhat resembles like Will Smith, but he looks like way too cursed, you know, to be like really him. It was like something funny that you could like do. There was like extent of it, you know. And when of course, like AI nowadays is like has been like really good nowadays, you know, that can like fool people. It's just like some inconsistency you can like notice, you know, when Will Smith eats spaghetti video, you know, it's like the background changes constantly. Of course, Will Smith stays constant, eating spaghetti, seemingly enjoying it, but the background changes every time. There's like kitchen when he's like now in a restaurant or so, something like that, and it's kind of like, you know. But there's still like some unkindness like in the AI, like still like they generate. And when I look at images, you know, like just photo images, not like drawn images, kind of like, you know, it does feel off. Like the old cat sits like so still. I'm giving her some pet. You can't really hear the meows. Like whatever she like, whatever escapes her vocal cords. Interesting. The mic settings being like pretty good for that, but sometimes when I look back at the recordings, you know, or like look at some streams and then like try to listen to that, then sometimes I can't really hear myself. I did like some read-alongs, you know, and then kind of like surprised, hey, I can't hear myself, you know. And then yeah. And all the purpose of the whole whole stream is kind of like, yeah, I can't like share that, and then yeah, wrap it, and then yeah. Okay, I'm gonna come to the coloring part. Miu, das dauert noch ein bisschen. At least noch ein bisschen, noch so 30 Minuten, 20 Minuten. Muss mal schauen. It can take me like about 20 or 30 minutes or so. The cat gets impatient, I suppose. She's now sitting on my lap, purring. I'm petting her with my left hand, drawing with the other hand. You know, this activity I can do one-handed. There are like also some games I can play one-handed. Yeah. There are not many games I've played one-handed like on a stream, or like activities like that one-handed on stream, like gaming-wise. There were like visual novels like Atari and like Aquarium, you know. But Hololive you need both hands. Ender Lilies also 2 hands. Omori can actually play one-handed, right? You can play one-handed actually. Like a lot of RPG Maker games you can play one-handed. Oh no, she's licking my hand because I'm petting her. And like grooming the fur, you know, not grooming as like grooming a child, you know. I kind of like hate it when like some words have like similar meaning, you know, similar like wording, but the meaning's like not the same at all, you know. And in German there are also like those kind of words, and it's kind of like, yeah, it can get confusing, you know, kind of like, no, that's not what I meant. But yeah. Yabai. But I think like the cat gets curious, you know, like when I stream. She hears like a lot of voices I don't use, you know, or like, you know, like when I'm speaking English, I think like the way like my voice sounds also different, like when I talk like, and if I talk like in German. So she has like mostly bluish hair, but there are like pink highlights. There's like a lot of drip, a lot of color in her drip. She's like wearing too. Gonna make sure that I'm gonna apply this correctly. A little bit of pain, but yeah. That's something I'm gonna fill in everything. I think her hair is. You know, this advantage if you like have a really clean line art or something like that, you know. For me, I don't really pay attention to line art that much to like make my coloring process easier, you know. I'm gonna keep the lines because I like the lines like that. Even like if it makes like things like coloring like a little bit harder. Like if it's everything clean, you can do one bucket and then voila, the parts you wanted to be like filled are like filled. But here it doesn't like one-shot it really. Not nearly even, you know. Of course there are other tools, but I don't know, like no. I don't know. Shiranai yo. He wears oh yeah, the thing of like playing a voice as well. Even one streamer kind of likes playing her voice, you know. Not in real life, except if I feel like not watched at work, like out of listening range, out of like visual range, you know. But regarding visual range, sometimes it's okay because I'm wearing a face mask. People don't really see that I open my mouth, or like, you know, sometimes I see other people, you know, they feel like really relaxing, then they like do some dance movements, like mouth movements, and then like, okay, they're listening to something, and then they vibe with the music, you know. I get the feeling. But when I do that, people don't really notice that too much. I do like to play with our voice around. Maybe it's like how I can like sing certain songs a lot better also. だってどうしようもないことばかりじゃない You know, like you know, like some things like songs, melodies in my head, you know, I do like to replicate them as well. I still like remember, you know, like I know there's Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, there's like a lot of like memeable moments, you know, like the original Yu-Gi-Oh, like with Yami Yugi and everything. When he would like, you know, Sokumao Pasaka Soul Onotan Do Monster Card Do Monster Card, you know. Okay, I can't do that properly. My voice is like dying. Like when you play around with your voice too much, your voice can just simply die. You have to drink water or just let it rest. If you like talking with your natural voice, if you have to talk in the first place, you know. Like when I like play around with my voice, it's like not with my natural voice, and this can put a lot of strain, but actually, like with muscles, you know, like if you like use them and they feel like tired afterwards, just like how you strengthen them, you know. But do not destroy them while like down, you know. Don't strike while it's hot, you know. In this case, do not strike when it's hot. This is your sign to like let go. To some extent, you know, it's like fine to push even further, but still, you know, better safe than sorry. How do I do this? The colors, the highlights, everything. Yappy, yappy, yappy. But the voices are a nice music instrument, a nice toy. There's a lot of things you can do with that. And so like music, for example, people have like a certain style. They always like choose the same style of singing, you know? And then people enjoy that a lot. Maybe not choose a certain style, but they sing like how they're most comfortable with, you know? I, for my part, also have like some songs I'm comfortable singing with my normal voice, you know? But then there are also like some be like, you know? They are like kinda like wanna go different, you know? Like with, Origamasu mecha motetai, you know? Ipuris saitobent kinniku no hamaka, you know? Sometimes, you know, I do feel like I'm still like young, you know? Maybe like in my mind here and there. You can still like play and fly around, but sometimes you have like those moments of like patience, you know, and everything. But still, it doesn't like... It doesn't really like... It doesn't really like do anything bad, you know? To like let loose, you know? And, you know... like fool around. Of course, when it's like in safety. Ho ho, how dare you to attack my kingdom? Ah. And other random noises here and there. The cat likes it when I have put on like a baby voice or like something, you know, when I yeah, starting voice. Usually I have like a towel over my lap when like when the cat decides to sit lie on my lap. But for some reason it's like slid down when she was able to like stick her claws into my thighs. Like I have like 2 layers. Like one like pants, then like underpants. And 2 layers are not enough to protect myself against her claws. I need that 3rd layer of like a towel. I'd like to kind of like, you know, get that off. And she bit me. At least like it's not a really strong, but it was like, you know, kind of like mistaking it like for grooming, you know, when I groom her, and she gonna lick and live like a little bit aloft by the return, you know, but I'm gonna have to wash it at some point. Like every single time when your skin gets damaged, wash your skin also. It's like one of the ways where like bacteria, dirt, whatever can enter it and then can get you, if your immune system loses the RNG, you know, can get you like sick. They say like lose the RNG because, you know, sometimes it feels like that. Even if you drink all the vitamin C, if you take like a lot of that with you, sometimes you can get just like sick, you know. Maybe if it like rains, you know, and then you forgot your umbrella, and then it's just like the body temperature, you know, the way your body feels, you get like the warm, you know, and like warm up, but sometimes it can get too late if you have been like wet and cold for too long, you know. Like this is not a good combination. But sometimes people abuse that to be like, oh, I don't wanna come to school tomorrow, just let me do the trick, you know, like that you sometimes see in Bachi the Rock, you know, ice bath. But I saw like, for example, like from schoolmates when I was like younger, it was like winter, you know, and then I was like wearing jacket and everything, but then dude was like wearing only a t-shirt outside, and it's like, what the hell are you doing, you know? Oh, look, I'm warm, you know, and then feel my skin, you know. But the thing is, like, kids have like higher body temperature, like naturally, you know. And then when I felt over my skin, I was like, okay, yeah, you're actually warm. But I was like not really aware on like how this worked, you know. And then the next day, oh, by the way, your classmate, he's sick for today. He's not coming to today. He's kind of like, you know. In this kind of moment was kind of like, okay, yeah, I know what you did there. So it kind of like can force a sick day, you know, actually. But to be honest, me myself, even though I know I gained the knowledge like back then, I never really use it. I don't have sick days, usually. If I'm like missing, then there's like a reason. In a sense, regarding streams, you know, I don't really have like sick days in streaming as well, like where I take a day off. I keep a minimum of like 3 streams in a week. Even if I'm gonna like announce on the first day and be like, oh, I'm gonna stream the whole weekend, you know, and still like gonna show up and like, you know, to like show, hey, I'm here, you know. I don't really have a reason to run away, actually. But at the same time, I do like notice, man, I lack time. I do want more time for other things, but the thing is like drawing, I have to like do that else I'm getting rusty. So this is like the kind of minimum there. But on 5, this is hard actually. I don't have to do it actually. But it could be like interesting to like play and like master. And like one of the, I don't know, what was it? The last time it looked like was 15%, but 12%, not really sure. Like of the player base that I completed like Phantom 5. There's a small amount of like gamers who like were able to like beat that. Most of my friends only like came so far to do the Phantom of the Paint House, so like with the Paint Master. Like not further than me yet. Maybe they're still on it, I don't know. Friends in terms of like friend lists on Steam. Are they actually friends? I don't know. But let's say it's like people I know like from Discord, you know, when they made like cool impression when like, hey, let's add each other, and you know, sometimes there are like some cool events like Blue Archive, you know, or like some events are like hosts, you know, regarding Blue Archive events, like okay, the price is like Steam gift card, you know, and then yeah. Sometimes like a raffle, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, get first place in this kind of event here, and then I'm gonna give you. Events is in terms of like in-game events or so. And then we can like measure like things like results based on like, you know, how well they do in-game. Something like that. And yeah, it can get pretty fun, can get pretty interesting, like how far they push. And then yeah, if some people like manage to like get motivated, like push up because there was a prize on the line, and yeah, people can deserve the reward, you know, something like that. Of course, I don't have to do that, but at the same time I feel like, you know, the game has been pain for me, and I can like make it more bearable, like when there's like something to potentially win, you know. I say like potentially because some people will never be able to like beat the top molders who like willing to waste majority of the day just to like perform well in a video game, you know. And then yeah, you know, there are like people like me who like still stream week for week to like beat Phantom 5, you know. I mean, yeah. And I came farther than like my first stream, actually. Like, I'm able to reach Pure Vessel now consistently. I did like 3 runs, and 2 of the 3 runs, you know, last stream I was like able to reach it, you know. So yeah, there's like still like some work to do, but it's like something, you know. But until it gets like so far, be patient. I guess. That's like how the status currently is. All the details. She has a lot of details. Stuff. I could like simplify it, but now that I'm at it, you know, I kinda like broke the expectations. I said like maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes and I'm done, but actually I distract myself like yapping. It does take a little bit longer than I anticipated. Average is like 2 hours, by the way. Unlike how long it takes for me to finish. But sometimes I'm like pretty like stuck on like drawing details. Like when I drew the line art, I already liked it. But now that I added color, I'm still like, I have to do more. Not satisfied yet. Then yeah. You know, regarding soul leveling, I really dig. I watch like mostly the Japanese dub, but when I like see the clips to the English dub, you know, from Alex Lee, who was like voicing Sang Jinwoo. Man, it goes so hard, man. It goes so hard. Like in those fight scenes when Alex Lee is voicing. It was like still like in this parts where like Sang Jinwoo was like struggling, you know, was not like effortlessly overpowering everyone, you know, but actually he was like somewhat underleveled, but uses like his wits, you know, and his abuse the loopholes in the system, you know, to gain advantage over like the other guy. The final battle in the season 1 was kind of like, not really well earned. But yeah, whatever. The result is like he won. And yeah. Then he get like Ingress by the boss like as part of his power, so. What's kind of sad is as well, what I think like sad about that. Similar to like the A-rank healer and like the mage with like swordsman background, that no, there's like not much undevelopment afterwards, like with this one ingredient. Could have made more, maybe more lore. But yeah, whatever. I didn't really had much hopes anyways. It was fast food and it was good fast food. I ate it all up, you know, whatever. I still kind of complain it could be healthy, but you know, fast food is fast food. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's kind of like, you know, every single ingredient to a hamburger actually healthy, like meat healthy, salad healthy, cheese is healthy, the buns are healthy, you know, the bread is healthy, not mayonnaise, but you know, cucumbers, okay, some people don't like cucumbers, but this is healthy, tomatoes are healthy, you know, but if you put them all together, this is a hamburger and then it's unhealthy. Huh? What? You know? But it's about the balance, you know? It's about the balance. You can't like throw in harem, you can't throw in power fantasy, you know, like being super strong in a fantasy setting together. Like you need a balance somewhere, you know? But some people are like there for the fast food, you know, for the power fantasy, and it's like, okay, turn your brain off. But it's not the best thing ever, you know? I don't really think it has a message so far, like a meaningful one. Like his goal usually, okay, my mama's sick, you know, I am someone who can go into like dungeons to like get materials and sell that, you know, but now at some point he reaches his goal. Or then what comes afterwards, you know? And it's kind of like, yeah. In the story, when the bully bullies the bullies back. There was something like this here. When it's all like conveniently like pushed to the system. It's not my fault the system forced me to do it, you know. And people they feel he's the strongest. What about Dragon Ball? Actually, Dragon Ball was like somewhat compelling and inspiring. You know, when you like watch some VTubers from Hololive, for example, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Pecora, for example, was like last year, I think. This was like put like a little bit viral. She like kind of like pop off, like she went a little bit viral of like playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, you know. She witnessed like the story of like Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Z, how to say in English. Got like really popular, went like viral. And people like enjoyed the story with her, you know. Some people like witnessed for the first time, or like watching Pecora, or they could like, those people who like know the franchise and everything, they could watch it and be like, man, be nostalgic, you know, about like everything what happened. For me, it was kind of a nostalgia thing. I never watched the anime, but I read the whole manga, you know. This was enough for me. And yeah. This was like pretty nice. And I kind of like see like how special Dragon Ball back to me back in the days was actually. Like looking back at it. Like how Goku became the Super Saiyan, you know, like the first time, or like with Meta Satan, you know, how he redeems himself as a character and then carries everyone in the end. It kind of like really shows, you know, like around the end, it's not only about Goku, that he's the only one who can carry everyone, but there are like limits on what he can and can't do, you know, in a sense. Even though the majority of the series was like, you know, Goku, we need you, only you can help us, but in the end, it like showed like that people like Mr. Satan were like important, you know, that people had like more leverage than other things, you know, they were not good at fighting like as Goku or like Vegeta also, but actually that like some roles can like play in, you know, something like that, you know. No matter how strong you are, there's always someone stronger than you know, then you kind of have to come up with something. I kind of like this idea, and there was also an attempt on like doing something with Gohan, but didn't like really went out that well, you know, like Dragon Ball fought Goku's like, you know. I saw like a lot of like holomems, like also like playing Kakarot, you know. I think like Kali as well, and she didn't like know anything about Dragon Ball, or at least like, she didn't consume the series yet or so. It was like, also like kind of interesting, yeah. But yeah, she already like Vegeta, you know. I think like a lot of like girls like Vegeta, but also like Piccolo, you know. Piccolo. It was like about the characters, you know. Like a lot of characters in Dragon Ball are like pretty charming, actually. Like Frieza, you know. He was like so charismatic and like his word choices and everything. Especially like in the Japanese dub, I feel like consumed like via that. There was like something about the energy that he emits. And Frieza was like so, you know, had like such charisma that he like got recycled in super, you know. But like, you know, the thing is like that Goku can't like carry everyone, you know, that he's like the only one who carries, then it's like you know, Dragon Ball Daima, he gets into a kid, you know, and then there are like some handicaps and then they need to learn other people, but it's kind of like the damage has been like done somewhere, you know, that that was like we're weak now, so, and not really like used because, you know, it's like with the Pokemons, you know, you only level 1 Pokemon and the others you do not, and then it's kind of like, yeah, when your main can't carry anymore, then what are we gonna to do with those ones that are under-leveled, you know? Whatever, right? Then it's kind of like, yeah. There was like a little bit the issue of that. But when you were like going from episode to episode or like chapter to chapter, you don't really notice that much. It's only like when you maybe look back at it and then actually who's strong enough, like in case like Goku can't carry anymore, who else can carry, you know? Then it's kind of like they all just crumble, you know? Like you know, like the Cell Saga, like with future Trunks and so, in his timeline everyone, like, you know, everyone went like a bad fate and he was the only survivor, so, you know. And just because Goku wasn't around because heart disease or so. Kind of like shows like when you over-rely on like one guy too much, everything crumbles, you know. It was kind of interesting to explore that. And then the death actually had meaning. Had like actually weight. Man, when like the VTubers, you know, the Hololive VTubers, you know, when they played like Kakarot and they came like to the future arc, you know, like looking back at Trunks future Trunks like arc, like where he lost Gohan, you know. There was a lot of raw emotions, and like the scene that has been like done in Kakarot or like the anime was like done really good. They did like something to improve it, you know, like rather than like what the anime just like the manga just did, you know. That they gave Gohan like a last Kamehameha, you know, something like that, to like make his finale really like final, you know. A lot more weight, a lot more impact. It has like some false Dragon Ball, but overall, man, it goes so hard. It goes so hard. And now the author is not alive anymore, you know, the mangaka is like not among us. Among us. But yeah. It really is something special. Regarding like Super, Daima, and GT, I don't accept like anything of that really as like a sequel or so, I must like say. Because it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really fit much like with what carried so much like the original series. I don't know, it doesn't really feel like it fits. Some of the stuff in there breaks like the lore from the original. I have the feeling. So yeah. But yeah, I watched Daima. Of course I can like, and that's like why I can like say a little bit of that. But man, Toriyama sensei, the way he like drew action scenes was so cool, especially like when Flight got like added. Like the Raditz fight was like so cool, or like the Freezer arc. This looked so nice. The fights. when the Boost Saga actually like it went like the power level like in drawing action scenes like went down. But what got like better was like the writing with the characters and like who matters, like who can carry, you know. Like was kind of like like there were like things there were like stakes actually, you know, because Goku was dead actually, and if he dies forever, similar to like Vegeta there as well, you know. Like when they got like back to Earth because of Urainai Baba also, you know, like she had the ability that she can like bring someone from the dead back to life for one day or something like that. And this like some characters got reused actually, that you know that some characters do not get forgotten, but still lunch, you know, like this one girl, you know, this one got forgotten, and she was so cute, so precious actually, but also like had Cinderella part, like her blonde hair part as well. It's also like, man, a refresher actually, nice to have around. Like the current, you know, Dragon Ball would have looked different, you know, I guess when she was around, but I guess it's like a thing for fanfics, you know, when people are kind of like, okay, let's make it sense like why she has not been there anymore, you know, instead of like just pushing it to like Toriyama since he forgot, you know. The anime was kind of like, oh yeah, she like went with Tenshin Han and so, and then yeah, something like that. The anime had like a lot of fillers, you know. I do wonder why people in English, you know, call him Tien, you know, because nothing in his name like hints on like that his name can be short with like Tien, you know, because it's like Ten, Shin, and then Han. I don't see a Tien or so. Like if it's like some guy called Antonio, and when people call him Tony, I can see that because there are Tony and Antonio, you know. But with Tenshin Han, I don't see like a Tien, you know. And like, I wonder how can people come up with that? Or like Inuyasha, you know, Inuyasha. When people like pronounce it Inuyasha, you know. How? Like in English like dictionary, there's not a single word that's like written Yasha and pronounced Washa or anything similar to that. How? Sometimes, you know, I can't speak English. I studied enough, you know. But sometimes I'm still getting like confused with like some stuff, you know. I guess like even like native English speakers have like some confusion as well. Like sometimes the language is like just dumb, even though it's a world language, everyone can speak it, you know. It has like still some dumb rules here and there, some dumb things. So silly. Okay, we are more than 2 hours in. Like, how do people like to learn Vegeta or like Piccolo so much? There was like something about the characters, you know, that they were like not the good guys, you know. But when they redeemed themselves, you know, that their heart like showed like some weakness. that they like open up, like, you know, and when in the moment they like open up, you know, and like learn to like someone, and then, you know, like when it's too late, it's like where they find the end or something like that. Some of the things get like a little bit diminished with the Dragon Balls, you know, and that you can still follow the story, you know. But still, you know, Toriyama sensei did like know how to write characters, how to build up all those moments. In Boost Saga there were actually stakes, you know. Even though the Dragon Balls were around, there were still some stakes. Like Vegeta dying, Goku dying, you know. Like dying in a sense that they cannot be revived at all, you know. That we lose them forever. But when we're looking like at things like power fantasies, you know, actual power fantasies, solo leveling, they were not really stakes, you know. Like a lot of people, some people were like, man, if you watch like the Ant versus the Ant fight, man, that was sick. But actually there were no stakes, actually, you know. Sanjimu was like stronger than that guy. There was like no question that he can beat them. That he can beat the Ant. While like in some sports animes it's like, please win my favorite team, or like in Dragon Ball, oh please win against this evil guy, you know. And sometimes you like celebrate the small moments and then like next moment, Jaja, I'm still alive, you know. And yeah, I think like in Dragon Ball, you know, like with the Ginyu Force, you know, Recom. This was a kind of like, yeah. The Ginyu Force was also like somewhat entertaining. And then I think like from the Ginyu Force, you know, Gohan was like, man, learn the Saiyaman poses from, you know, and the great Saiyaman. Like this was kind of like funny, like kind of tidbit too as well. That he kind of like found all those dumb looking like poses and stuff, like inspiring, you know, cool enough that he like also like did this kind of thing. Imitated that, you know, and yeah, to make his like dumb poses. I look at it now, it's like kind of dumb, but back in the days when I was like reading that, I was like, man, the Simon is so cool, man. I was like, Trunks, Bulma be like, weird, it's so cringe, you know. I guess they're really much sure. Yeah, you know, you kind of need that much outlook. But I kind of think Toriyama Sensei has like a lot of like human knowledge as well, like to write the characters so well. Yeah. I read like Dragon Ball. Let's think. How many times did I read Dragon Ball? I think like maybe a lot of times. Maybe like double digits. Like I think I read a lot of times, like for myself, but also like with my brother. Like one time, with my little brother, we like read the manga together. I was like teaching him reading, or like just like, you know, give him more confidence. I read some lines, he reads some lines, you know, and then we like flip a page, like actual like manga, like of pages, you know, like paper. You can like feel the feel, you know. We like witness the story together. Of course, nowadays I know like there are more other anime that are like worth a watch, you know. I mean, I like Mushoku Tensei, you know. I like Yushake, that's currently like airing. Shibo Yugi, it's also like kind of nice, you know. But still can't like forget like the old goats, you know. Like what kind of like made it like really popular, I suppose. Those kind of series. Also like looking through some like older animes like Monster, you know. And I kinda like noticed, hey, I did actually read the work of like this author, you know, like Billy Bat. Like one of those stuff. And actually they had like really good writing. It's like pretty mystery, pretty interesting, you know. It's a slow burner but explores like humanity, you know, in a sense, and it's like kinda like, man, interesting. But it's a slow burner, so I need to like I need to invest a lot of time in there instead of like having something faster paced and like you know, get the message but like faster, you know. Yeah, I think like when I was like younger, the only problem I saw like with Dragon Ball was like power levels, you know. At some point it got like a broken expectation because you were like starting to underestimate like, your opponent, you know, because you just relied on numbers, not like what the actual threat, the actual feel was, you know. Like some stuff is established, but at the same time it's also like broke them because it got like way too stupid to like just rely on numbers. But some memes like came out of that, you know. What's his power level? It's over 9,000, you know. Well, let's hide something empty, you know. It's also like this meme. When in some cases like empty concert hall, nobody came to your concert, when it's so empty that Vegeta and Goku decide to fight here, you know. Yeah. What can I do with backgrounds? It does look okay, right? I could do... Let me check. She has beautiful eyes actually, like anime, the reference, not like what I actually drew. What I actually drew has not much beauty eyes, not really. Okay, blush. So far, it's okay. Far, it's okay. What do I do? どうしたの？テストコミュニケーション。 Yeah, I guess I can leave it at that. I think this is looking okay. Alright. I talk like something about my sleep, one of my dreams. In this one night. About a cat. I talk about Dragon Ball. It's like what I remember. Alright, and some material with the talk, with like the drawing. But in any case, this has been all for today. Thank you all for watching, for listening. I wish you a nice rest of the day, evening, good night, whatever times on the world you all are. With that, I'm gonna say bye bye.